Meow. Hi, this is Craig for Captain America Projects. Thanks for joining us again. You might have seen in one of our previous videos we showed you how to do an economical vinyl picket fence, as you can see here. And today we're going to show you how to make an economical fence with corrugated metal and wood posts. So come along and join us on our adventure and we'll put this fence up together. So, of course, the first thing you want to do is run your strings when you're doing a fence to make sure you have nice straight lines. So what I did is we're doing a fence. Our fence will go from that corner to this corner down to there. So as you can see, we've got our strings here, and you can see it makes a nice straight line down to the other fence. And then that string is going to make a nice straight line down to the other corner. So that just gives you an idea of where to dig. And then what I'm going to do is normally you would have the string several inches back. What I've done is I've made the string a few inches or a couple of feet off the ground, so that when I dig with my post hole digger, I can kind of line it up and then just kind of dig it out as an angle and push the string back a little as I dig. The reason I'm doing it this way is that the neighbors have an old decayed fence and I don't want to mess with taking it out. That's not my fence, so I'm going to put my fence as close to that as I can and basically just hide that fence. And if they ever want to take that out, then that's great. They can enjoy the nice fence that I'm going to be putting in today. So that's what I'm going to do. So where the strings meet there, just go straight down from there, and that will be my first hole. Let's get it started. Got my hole dug, and unfortunately I ran into water. This is not something you want to have. And the water is about 16 inches down. So I dug my hole almost 2 feet down, and then it just kind of filled up to about the 16-inch mark, which is just something we're gonna have to deal with. If I had some gravel, I'd put some gravel in there up to about where the water is. There's some rocks. That way the post isn't buried in water, because that's gonna definitely make the post rot quicker than I want it to. So hopefully you don't find water in yours, but anyway, we're just gonna have to deal with it. So I got 8-foot poles, so you want to go about 2 feet down, so you got about 6 feet sticking up, because a typical residential fence is about 6 feet high. Okay, so we got all of our posts cemented in. Let's have a look right down the line. And if you notice on a couple of these, on this one I used some wood forms to help shape it in, and on that one I used some bricks. Basically that's because the ground was a little low here, and I needed the cement to come up above the ground a bit, because I can only dig down so deep because of the high water table in the city. So anyway, so there it is. There you have our nice row of posts. Okay, and here's a quick tip. If you live in a cold, wet climate, like I do up here in the Pacific Northwest, you want to make sure to leave the cement to dry longer than usual. So that's a tip. It's going to take longer to dry because of the wet climate, and you don't want to put any panels or any kind of fencing up until that cement is nice and hard, and the wet climate slows that process down. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is drill our holes in the metal and then go ahead and mount the metal to the posts. Here we go. I like to drill my holes while the sheets are laying on the ground. I just put it on the grass and I can drill right through nice and easy instead of trying to drill while I'm putting them up. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my sheet in place and screw it in. What I'm using is these metal lathe screws because they have a nice flat under part of the head. That gives it a lot of space to grip onto the other metal. So the way I do it when I'm putting them in is I line up the two sheets of metal. So see, there's a nice line there. Then I put in just the top screw on the next sheet I'm doing. So I put in the top screw, that way I can move it and level it. Then I come down to the next post, and now since only the one screw is in, then I can raise or lower this till I get it level. And I'm just judging level by the posts, so I'm making it, because these posts I made nice and level. So you can kind of eyeball that. You can actually use these little indentures in the wood and make sure, see right now it looks like it's a nice straight line. So once you get your nice straight line, go ahead and put another screw in. And one thing you can do is, this wood is soft. If you got nice soft wood like this, I kind of start the screw a little bit, and when it starts to bite, and I get my drill, because these have the big head, so I can't use my little guide on the drill. There you have it. And then just put in the rest of the screws. There you have it. So I have all of the bottom sheets in. So, as I mentioned previously, we're at a very wet climate. So the reason I am just going to put in the bottom sheets, it's been about 3 days since I did the cement work, and I don't feel comfortable yet putting all the sheets up. I think that's too much weight. But I went ahead and put the bottom sheets in. Just it gives the whole form a little more stability, I think. So anyway, I'll come back in about a week, possibly 2 weeks, and put up the rest of the panels. And so I'll check back in then and see how it comes out. Also, I wanted to point out that I put the wood on the inside so it's visible, because on the back you won't really see very much wood. But I like the look of the contrast of the metal on wood. So it's very cool industrial look, I think. So anyway, you can put the metal sheets on the inside if you prefer, but I like the outside. Okay, so as you can see, we now have all of the panels on. If you can see our whole fence here, I think it came out pretty nice. We just have one more step we're going to do, but wanted to show you with all the panels on. So what we did, so basically this is a two-man job, and what we did is my wife and I put these up. So you need one person at one end holding it, and then the other person holds it, and then you put your screws in. And we had all the holes pre-drilled out where we wanted to put them. And then we did a little bit of overlap on all the metal. We did like, an inch or so of overlap, just to make it a little stronger. Okay, so next what we're going to do is we're going to put some 2x4s. We've decided to put 2x4s along the seams where the metal meet. It's going to make it look really nice, the wood offset by the metal. And then also, where these separate, instead of bolting them, we'll be able to just screw right into the 2x4. So it'll pull these together tight, and it'll make a really nice look. So what we're going to do is, I've already cut the first one to size so it'll fit in between the two 4x4 posts. Then I'm going to do I'm going to pre-drill my holes. And to do a good angle, you start going straight, and then once you get in a little bit, you kind of turn it, and when you have it just right, then you just drill it on through. So then you have a nice angle. Here's a little tip. What I like to do is go ahead and start your screws before you put the board up, because then they're all ready to go. So what I do is I make them poke out a little bit so I can see where they're at. Can you see poking out there? Then I back it up just inside the hole. That way they're all ready to go. And then I'm going to do my next one. Same thing. See it poke through, back it out a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to screw in the 2x4. You need 2 people for this, so one person can hold one end while you hold and screw in the other end. Oh, thank you. Awesome. So we've got the main structure of the fence done, as you can see. What we're going to do is we're going to go around to the back, and we're going to put in some of these self-piercing screws. That way you don't have to pre-drill the metal for these. So we're just going to put a couple screws down to pull them up tight, and then that's pretty much it. And then you got a nice strong fence. So here you go, here's the final fence, and we just wanted to let you know that if you like it, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That really helps us out. And if you end up doing a fence of your own, we'd love to hear about it. And even better, if you've got a video, we'd love to see it. And I'm curious to see your take on this concept, because there's a lot of different ways you can go with this style of fence. But I think it's you'll agree it's a pretty cheap and quick way to put up a fence, especially with the abundance of used metal sheets that you can find around at different places. I see these for free or really cheap on Craigslist all the time. Alright, hope you enjoyed and have a great day. Thanks for watching Captain America Projects.